Hey guys, it's Virgin Vinyl here again today, continuing the journey from vinyl newbie to full-blown junkie. And today I've got a band that I have to admit that I'm relatively, how would I put it? Like, I'm not a huge fan, and haven't been for all of my life, and except for a few albums which I really love. And it's not because I have had anything against this band or anything like that. It's just one of those bands that I sort of never really I didn't click with them that much when I was younger, and I never really went down the rabbit hole until much later on. And but one album that stands out as an exception to that is still my favorite album. It's the album that I did have back in the day. I had a couple of their albums, like the early stuff. But it's this one right here, Dimension Hatross by Voivod. And so, like, Voivod's a really interesting band because, they Canadian, started off as this sort of rampaging, really harsh thrash, kind of experimental thrash band. Their first album, I think, was around 84 or 85, War and Pain, which I really like. Then they did Raw, like a year or two later. Raw! And that one is much more intense and much more impenetrable, I would say, for the casual fan, or if you're a fan of like Testament and Overkill and that end of thrash. I'm not sure you're gonna like that so much, but if you like your your sort of Celtic Frosts and I don't know, like the more harsh end of, like, if you like stuff like Morbid Saint, you should be able to handle the intensity of that. Although I think it's kind of harsher even than those. And then they did, of course, Killing Technology, which sort of saw the band start to become a little bit more progressively minded with their songwriting. That album gets a lot of love, and I just never really clicked with it. I think, I don't know what it is. It sounds empty to me, that album. I don't know, like sonically, I just don't like the way it sits. It's like lacking something to me. I don't know. And what I compare it to, and the reason I feel that way about it, is because this is the first album I ever heard from Voivod. It's the first album I ever bought from Voivod, and it's my favorite one. And I feel that everything that's missing for me from Killing Technology, which I know is a beloved album, you don't have to tell me how awesome it is. I know everybody loves that album, but for me, like, anything good that they're doing on that album, they do on this album a million times better. The songwriting on here is just like, so by the time they get to Dimension Hatross, they're really going off in weird and wonderful directions. The music's become more progressive, the hooks are better, the storytelling is better, the playing has leveled up, and Piggy's got so many cool, he's got I don't know what the name of I always forget what the name of that scale is, but where it's like, you're playing like these chords which are like on each string it's like a half step up, and it creates these dissonant chords. So he's doing a lot of that all over these. I mean, that's kind of like his bread and butter, but they're like the kings of that dissonant sound, that sort of quirky dissonant sound. And it's sort of mixed with Snake's, kind of punk rock vocal delivery, and mix all of that up with this sort of sci-fi storytelling, and the incredible artwork, which, you know, like that's one of the things that has always attracted me to Voivod, especially on their early albums. Like I think those early paintings, and this one I think is the best. I just love everything about it. Love the colors. It just feels like it suits the album perfectly, you know. Some album art just doesn't fit, but this is perfect. And this to me is a perfect album too. Like I think, you know, there's no weak spots on this album. It's the hooks are there. It's just catchy and awesome, but weird and driving and heavy and demented and exciting, and I love everything about it. There's the back there of the record. This is a reissue that I picked up recently, and what's really cool, you know, this is the thing with reissues that I would say, like, I wish this was the case with every single company that did reissues. This is Noise BMG, right? So look at this. You get this nice big poster. How good is that? And you also get inside here the lyrics, the guys, and look at this beautiful record here. Beautiful splatter vinyl there. Really, really cool, really beautiful. I love these splatter vinyls. I know some people think that the colored vinyl or splattered vinyl doesn't sound as good, but that's bullshit. It doesn't sound any different. I mean, I don't know. I don't have like a super expensive hi-fi system, so maybe like if you have something really high level, you'll hear a difference. But I mean, I think that's just bullshit. I've got, you know, black records and I've got colored vinyl, and you know, I don't notice any difference at all. Any difference at all. It plays great, sounds great. The job that they did on this repress is fucking excellent. You know, the funny thing with Voivod is that they would go on after this album, they would do Nothing Face, which is kind of like a continuation of this, but once again going even more streamlined and more sort of cleaning up what they were doing. But then after Nothing Face, they would really change what their whole direction for Angel Rat and go on into this kind of grungy rock, you know, more of a sort of traditional grungy rocky metal kind of thing. And I think Angel Rat is a great album. I really like it, but for me, this is where it's at. This is peak Voivod. I think this is when they're at the peak of their powers. And of course, like I think it was around the time of Angel Rat that the lineup started to crack, and you know, over the years they had lots of lineup changes, and you know, even like people like Jason Newsted were in the band for a while, but I don't claim to know shit about any of that, because really I don't know anything. I really don't know anything about Voivod or their music after Angel Rat. Everything up till Angel Rat I have owned. I owned on CD, and hopefully I will get them on. I would love to get all this stuff up to and including Angel Rat on record. But after that, I don't know. One of my buddies is really into, like, Voivod's like one of his favorite bands, and he knows their shit better than I do. So every once in a while, when I'm at his place, I will hear some of that other stuff, and I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty fucking awesome. Well, I need to check it out. So at some point, I will do a proper deep dive into Voivod, and I will discover what needs to be discovered. If you guys, if anybody watching has any advice for me, what I should check out, you know, let me know in the comments. That'd be awesome. What else can I tell you? Oh yeah, you know, the only thing is that Piggy obviously died some years back, and they got Dan Mongrain from, well, I know him from Martyr. What else was he in? I think he was in something else I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but He was in the Tech Death, his band, the Tech Death band Martyr, which is a really good Tech Death band. Very different from Voivod, but he seems to fit right in. And I did actually review for Sea of Tranquility magazine a couple of years ago when Synchro Anarchy came out, and I was really impressed with that album too. It was very cool. What else can I tell you? That's about it. I think, you know, like I said, I don't know Voivod that well. Like, even though I owned all those albums up until Angel Rat, I didn't really know them very well. I didn't know Angel. I never really listened to it. It was like, I don't know, it just didn't click with me back then. It didn't click with me. I was, and it's one of those things that I can't really explain why either. You know, I've had this with a few bands. I've talked about that with Black Sabbath. Like, Black Sabbath didn't really click with me in the early days, and then, you know, eventually it clicked and I fucking love it. Yeah, it's funny sometimes how that happens, you know. And other things that you loved with all your heart, sometimes you fall out of love with, you know. Like, I was just talking about today how, you know, the album The Wall by Pink Floyd, at one point in time I might have said that's the greatest album that's ever been written, but in recent years I've kind of fallen out of love with that album, and I kind of see Pink Floyd in a different way now. Like, kind of more like their sound kind of sounds corporate to me now, you know. It's weird how these things change. It's funny, I guess I'm thinking about Pink Floyd because on the next album, Nothing Face, they would cover Astronomy to Mine, which was an old Pink Floyd song from before they sounded corporate. But I never really liked the Sid Barrett stuff that much, to be honest. You know, I think it's really overrated. I don't think that they were doing anything that was anything that groundbreaking when you consider that there was people like Frank Zappa and Captain Beefheart and guys like that around at the time, you know, doing even crazier and more sophisticated stuff in that same sort of psychedelic vein, you know. Anyway, why am I talking about Pink Floyd? Voivod is fucking awesome. This album's awesome. The repress of this is awesome. The colored vinyl, the splatter, I love everything about it. I really love it. This is one of those albums where I love everything about it. I think it's recorded beautifully. I think it's played awesomely. I think the songwriting is killer. The story is cool. The packaging is fucking awesome. I just love it. It's just cool. I love the writing style. I love everything about it. Everything. It's perfect. It's a perfect fucking album. Perfect metal album. All right. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me what you think I should check out from Voivod, from the later era stuff. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.